Cystic fibrosis is an inherited genetic condition that affects my respiratory system and digestive system. My parents tell me that the system that makes my saliva, sweat, tears, and mucus doesn't work how it's supposed to. They still haven't discovered a cure, and many people like me suffer from an abnormal amount of thick and sticky mucus within their airways, lungs, and digestive system. This makes my pancreas not work properly and traps bacteria on my lungs. I have to be really careful, especially at school, because my doctor says that we are at constant risk of pulmonary infection. Cystic fibrosis can result in recurrent infections, which can lead to irreversible damage of my lungs, airways, and digestive system. My mum and dad were both carriers of the cystic fibrosis gene. This is my mum, and this is my dad. Did you know 1 in 25 people carry this gene? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Carriers like my mum and dad don't show any symptoms, and even then 2 carrier parents only have a 1 in 4 chance of having a baby with cystic fibrosis. I have an older brother. My older brother doesn't have cystic fibrosis, so they didn't even know they were carriers until I was born. The doctors performed a heel prick test on me, a mandatory test since 1986, as soon as I was born to see whether I had the disease. I don't remember what it was like because I was a baby, but I'm the only one in my family that has cystic fibrosis. When I wake up, I find it really hard to breathe because when I sleep, the thick, sticky mucus settles in my lungs. So to start my day, I go for a shower, which warms up the mucus, and I try and remove as much of this as possible. Mum and Dad also help me by patting on my back to loosen the mucus up. After this, I can breathe well and feel normal again, but it sounds a little bit like this. Due to my poor immune system, I have to eat as much healthy food as possible so I don't get any pulmonary infections. When I eat, my dietitian tells me that I must eat a high energy diet with good fats, sugar, milk, and red meat, so I avoid being malnourished and I can grow up big and strong. I also have to have plenty of fluids and salts, as cystic fibrosis makes me sweat a lot and I can lose a lot of fluid. Even though I eat healthy, I still have to take vitamin supplements and many antibiotics with each meal to kill all the bad bacteria inside of me. Another thing I have to have with my food are enzyme replacement capsules to make up for the enzymes I don't have to keep me healthy. When I get sick, I don't feel like eating anything, so that is why I have to eat a lot so I don't lose weight. This means I can fight off the bad infections. If I don't do this all the time, then there's a chance I'll go to hospital, where I'll have to stay up for 2 weeks taking stronger antibiotics and be put on a drip, as well as sessions with the physiotherapist to loosen the mucus. Some people with cystic fibrosis can even be in hospital for up to 6 times a year. Cystic fibrosis can make my lungs not be able to function properly and can make my body not benefit from all the good nutrients in my fruit and veggies. The risk of pulmonary infection and thick and sticky mucus can affect how much exercise I can do. We're encouraged to exercise so that we can keep up our exercise tolerance, as people with cystic fibrosis who undertake regular exercise are shown to cope better. The doctors and physiotherapists tell me that the amount of air I can hold in my lungs can be increased if I do regular aerobic exercise. This exercise strengthens my lungs and helps to increase the biggest amount of oxygen that my lungs can handle. Unfortunately, the most common form of death for people suffering from cystic fibrosis is when people's lungs stop working and cannot do their job anymore. Sometimes I get scared and upset that I won't be able to run around with my friends. I don't want this to happen to me, so my mum and my dad make sure I stay healthy by doing exercises on my exercise bike to improve my lung function. When I was younger, I couldn't concentrate in school and was always tired. I kept losing focus and couldn't concentrate on one thing at a time. The doctor said that this was due to the lack of sleep from my breathing problems that I had from cystic fibrosis. I can breathe a lot better since I started using an exercise bike and my continuous positive airway pressure machine, also called a CPAP. This has improved my sleep lots because it helps improve my breathing while I sleep. My sleep physician told me I had something called mild obstructive sleep apnea. It's a pretty tricky thing to say and sounds scary, but he says most kids with cystic fibrosis has it. He says my sleep apnea is caused by the buildup of the thick mucus in my pulmonary system. I'm very happy though because each time I go in to get my sleep apnea monitored, he says it's getting much better. This is good news, so mum and dad make sure I keep using my special machine and exercise bike. The continuous positive airway pressure machine helps me to breathe when I am asleep by pumping air in through my nose and mouth using a special mask. Mum and dad say they also sleep a lot better now as well because they aren't worried about me and my sleeping problems as much anymore. My parents always tell me how the increase in availability of technology has benefited my condition so that it can be detected through tests and be managed and treated effectively even though there is no cure. There are approximately 70,000 people with cystic fibrosis in the world. 1 in every 2,500 babies in Australia are born with cystic fibrosis, and almost half of the people who suffer from cystic fibrosis in Australia will die from lung disease by their late 30s. So it is very important for me and everyone to take measures to prevent this. Having good aerobic fitness has also been linked to less hospitalizations among sufferers like me, and researchers have suggested that it helps us to live longer than we are told we can live. This increases my quality of life and means that I can live like all my friends and run around and have